The next round begins with a commonly played expert tool. I open a spade and my partner bid 3 no trump, and what we play is called two-tiered splinters. Most people play that bidding 4 clubs, 4 diamonds, or 4 hearts over a spade, which shows shortness in that suit and a game raise. But it's become more common among expert players to play 2 different ranges of splinters. One spade, 3 no trump being a basic bare bones raise to game, 9 to 11 points with a singleton anywhere. And having 4 clubs, 4 diamonds, and 4 hearts be showing that shortness, but a stronger hand, 12 to 14 high card points. And so there's a couple benefits of doing that. Number one, we get to split our point ranges up, so splinters aren't too wide of a range to handle. The other one is whenever we have a 9 to 11 point hand, most of the time we don't even want to squeal to the opponents where our singleton is to help them on the defense. So a typical auction would be 1 spade, 3 no trump, 4 spades. Now, I felt like with my hand I was too strong for sure to not ask a singleton club, and I could just basically ask for key cards. And a singleton diamond, I'm in pretty good shape. So I bid 4 clubs, which is artificial, asking my partner where his shortness is. And his 4 spade bids was the third step. We play low, middle, high, so high is hearts, showed a singleton heart. Now, a singleton heart or avoidant hearts is not exactly what I expected or the best case scenario for my hand, but he still has 9 to 11 points. And so I figured, at 9 points, ace, king of clubs, queen of diamonds, and I'm called for slam. And certainly 11 points, it's even easier to come up with a slam hand. So I felt like my hand was good enough to go on, but I don't have a good enough hand to just bid key card and go to slam, assuming he has 1 ace. So I decided to bid 5 diamonds to isolate the club problem to my partner. Now, before I bid 5 diamonds, I really took some time, but I didn't think about what I was going to do over a 5 heart bid, which I really should have done before I bid 5 diamonds. And my partner bid 5 hearts, which essentially, at this stage, hadn't said he liked his hand or didn't like his hand. I made it clear that I don't have a club control. So even if he doesn't like his hand and he has a club control, he would still bid 5 hearts here. This is something that I've bypassed a cubit, and I might have a hand that's good enough to go to slam as long as he doesn't, as long as they're not taking the ace king of clubs. Like for instance, if my heart was the ace instead of the king, all I needed from my partner was to hear that he had a club control. So his 5 heart bid does not say anything dramatic about his hand except for that he has a club control. Now, I went high, and looking back on this decision, I feel like cubiting 5 diamonds and signing off in 5 spades was enough with my hand. But I started thinking, it's pretty hard to place 9 points where we're not going to have a play for slam, maybe a finesse or something. So I jumped to 6, and that ended the auction. Now, they led the 9 of clubs, and dummy came with a disappointing dummy. He had 3 diamonds, and I didn't really have a place to put his little diamond, and we had a sure heart loser. So after, when I see the 9 of clubs lead, I'm thinking to myself, well, if they've led a low club from the queen, the 9 of clubs from the queen, I could play low here, and I could win the jack and draw trumps and use my ace king of clubs to throw away my heart. But then I asked them about their opening leads. I said, what are your leads of the 9? Would you lead 9 from queen 10 9? And they said no. We would lead 10 from queen 10 9. So I really believed the 9 of clubs didn't have the queen behind it. So at that point I started trying to think about if there are any other ways I can make the hand. And I saw one, and that was if I go up with the ace of clubs and I draw trumps and I play club to the king, ruff a club, play ace king of diamonds, and go over and ruff the last club. Now, if I lead the last heart, since I've already taken two rounds of diamonds and gotten rid of all the clubs, if the person with the ace of hearts doesn't have a third diamond, they're going to have no choice but to give me a ruff and a slough, which means I'll be able to discard one of my hearts and ruff it in the other hand. Discard my diamond from the 3 card holding. So I decided to go for that, and I played the ace of clubs, and suddenly the 8 appeared, which was an interesting card. And so I drew trumps, and I went on my way. My plan was to do what I said, to rough out the clubs. And I played the jack of clubs, and I thought about finessing again, but I didn't. I went up king. and I see the 10. That was an interesting card. And now when I played the deuce of clubs, the queen popped up, and my 7 was high. I was, wow, that was a bonus. And I made my, so I went over to dummy, and I used my 7 of clubs to throw away my heart. And I had no way to get rid of my last trick, and I made my slam. It was a pretty unfortunate lead for them. The 9 of clubs turned out to be the worst possible lead, and making 6, we'll say we didn't get lucky. So after that pretty nice 6 spades we just made, the momentum was high, but now I picked up this ridiculous 7-5. I'm no expert on what to do with these hands, but one thing I know is that bidding aggressively when you don't know you have a fit yet is dangerous. So if I force the game and we don't have a fit, my hand is garbage. So I felt like not forcing the game was my number one decision, and I decided, okay, I'm not going to force the game. Now what are my options? And one no trump is one option, and I might get to find a secondary fit partner. Might bid 2 clubs or 2 hearts, and that would be great. But I had another option available to me that felt like the most sensible action, and that was to bid 3 clubs, with showing a long club suit and an invitational hand. I was suppressing my heart suit, but at least went over whatever partner bids, I could bid 4 hearts, and my partner should have a clue that I have a very distributional hand. Because if I had 4 hearts and long clubs, I probably would have just started with 1 no trump, because it would have been more likely that we would have had a heart fit, been able to find a heart fit with 1 no. So I bid 3 clubs, natural and invitational, and Joel jumped to 4 spades, which was, I guess I could have expected that, seen it coming, but it was ugly. So I had to decide what to do, and it felt like scrambling for a 5-level fit at the 5 level was not my, I really didn't want to be doing that. So I passed 4 spades. But what actually happened at the table was something interesting. Was Joel and I play a major 3 diamonds as a 4-card limit raise in support of partner, and he mistook what my bid meant, and he thought my 3 club bid showed a 4-card limit raise, and so he alerted it. And so I knew at the time when he jumped to 4 spades that he thought I had 4-card support. So now it seems like passing 4 spades is just ludicrous, except I'm not allowed to hear that alert. So after I bid 3 clubs and he alerted and he jumped 4 spades, all that was going through my mind was, what would I do if he hadn't said alert? Because that's what the directors are going to enforce happens, and that's what you're supposed to do in this situation. So I decided I would have passed, so I passed anyway and hoped for the best. Now, it turned out that Joel actually did have 7 spades, so it wasn't that ridiculous that we were in 4 spades. It seems like 5 clubs or 4 hearts would be a much better place to play, but at least we're in a, he has 7 of them, and it's possible with these crazy hands that people will struggle to get to their best contract. So the play, there wasn't really all that much to the play. Joel won the ace of diamonds and wished he could rough one and dummy, but didn't have any trumps. So he started drawing trumps by leading spades out of his hand, and they cashed a diamond and played another diamond, at which point he ducked another spade, and they kept forcing him, so he roughed again and drew the trumps, and they broke 3-3. And at that point, there wasn't really much he could do, so he just played ace of hearts and a heart, and used his heart to discard his losing club for down 1, which sucks, but we'll minus 100, at least in a pairs game. At least we'll get some match points. And thank you, and we will see you next time.